Hi, thanks for being with me today. I'm going to start with a devotion that I've written in my new devotional, which is finished but not published yet. This is the October 3rd devotional. I was tired and not all that excited about the long drive to Hot Springs, Arkansas. But then I heard, finally, the song of the leaves. They had begun with some color melodies here and there among the still green leaves. And then there were waves of bass, violin, harp, and cello in purple, golds, lavenders, corals, crimsons, and burgundies. The more I attuned my eyes and my heart, the greater the symphony. The drive became a benediction. He loves us. Psalm 68:19, Blessed be the Lord who daily loads us with benefits, the God of our salvation. Hallelujah. I'm going to debunk some myths today and point you to some excellent books that will help you in your quest to be full of song, to live a life that is pure blessing. So, there is a myth that says that you can get to quality time without quantity time. That's not so. We'll talk about that. And there's a myth that says that motherhood is not that valuable. And boy, am I going to talk about that. Because is it not only valuable, it is the key to everything in society. It's what you do or do not do and teach your child, your children. It doesn't matter what society says or thinks. It does not matter. But we need to be aware of what they say and think so that we don't buy into it. We need to be aware of it as a lie. And every permutation of the lie that says that motherhood isn't important. That's saying children aren't important. And Choices by Mary Farrar has a lot of good things to say about that. And I'm going to see if I can read it to you without my glasses. So that's my eye exercise and my challenge. And let's see, on page 205, Mary says, no role has lost more value in the 20th century than has the role of the mother. And she goes and talks about historically how that came about and the sabotaging of the role of the most valuable person in a child's early life, his mother. Because we've been told that we're unnecessary, that what we do isn't special, that professionals can do the job better in many cases, and that a man can nurture and care for a child just like a woman can. That children simply need a loving, qualified caretaker and they'll be fine. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people out there influencing your kids that are not qualified. And often that happens in a religious, supposedly Christian setting. And I just talked to a young mother yesterday whose child was devastated by the ignorance of a woman in a church setting program for children. And I could relate because the same thing happened to us years ago when our kids were little, more than once. So it is your responsibility to train up your children, and don't be just turning them over. Oh, this person has a title, this person is in a church, it has to be okay. Don't be doing that. Because the consequences, when a child's heart is scarred and something is written in their mind that is traumatic, you got your work cut out for you. If you think that's going to be easy to overcome, you're mistaken. So this job of mothering children, it doesn't happen in moments of quality time. Kids aren't little robots that you put a little quarter in their back in a slot and say, punch the button, we're going to do quality time now. Quality time happens as life happens, and it happens amidst a quantity of time. Every moment that is spent actually paying attention to and caring for a child is quality time. You have nothing more important to do. So such a job, as Mary Farrar says, requires tremendous focus, thought, energy, sacrifice, and time. Lots and lots of time. Mothers are so disrespected, and children are so disrespected, family is so disrespected, and that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is what we're created to do and be. And we are uniquely qualified for this incredibly high calling that shapes the entire world. Homemaking, caring for our homes and our families. And it doesn't end. There's a myth. This is another myth I want to talk about, that it ends when they're 18. Stormy O'Mardian in The Power of Praying for Your Adult Children says, and I know she's right, understanding that your job as a parent never ends doesn't have to be an overwhelming burden. It can be a rewarding challenge, and I tell you that is so true. The older our kids get, the more fun they are, and they've always been fun. The more challenging they are, and the more interesting they are, the more rewarding they are. God has given you charge over each of your adult children to cover them in prayer and to love and support them in any way that you and the Lord see fit to do. It is a privilege to serve the Lord in this way, knowing you are working with Him to see that these precious children of His are not lost, destroyed, or lured off the path and away from the blessings He has for them. And this is true no matter what age they are. There is nothing that anybody out there is doing that is more important than you ministering to the hearts of those He's given you to minister to. Nothing. So that is just a lie straight from hell. Don't buy into it any longer. Power of praying for your adult children. Everything in there is true of your children, your younger children as well. And then Choices by Mary Farrar. So be encouraged. You are incredibly, incredibly anointed by God to do an incredible job. Thanks for being with me.